Hey traders, it's Ryan from theprivatebank.com. Just going to do a quick recap for crude oil and the S&P 500. So again, I've not been doing too many recaps. I've just been real busy recently with some other aspects of my life. So just been focusing on trading and other aspects. So anyway, I just thought I'd do a quick recap here for crude now and just run through what I've seen here this week and just some general analysis in general. So just quickly we'll touch base on the weekly time frame. So obviously we open this week inside week, we just see a rotation up to the near last week's high, and we see a responsive seller active from this area, and we're basically just seeing rotations through last week's range now. So seeing further rejection of well, this is a potential bracketing. I'm just going to quickly highlight this. I mean, we hit this sort of support. It's $54 a barrel, and this is a potential bracketing range I'm looking at now. And we are starting to one time frame higher. So obviously we haven't made a new higher this week. So we are in an inside week for the moment. We just have to see how things sort of play out for the minute. But I mean, we are rejecting last year's range. I mean, last year's low was this 52.44, and we can see these buyers tried to sort of they were responsive, trying to push back in. But I mean, we clearly see this $54 a barrel sort of capped, and we've seen we've seen some responsive sellers, and we've seen some sort of some long liquidation in the market. I mean, it seems the market got very long here, and then we see this great short covering rally yesterday, and so we came up and we see that balance, and then we opened up the next day lower, and we see sellers in the market, and it led to like a long liquidation in the market with that sort of B-shaped profile. And then today we've just seen this two-way trade. We came in, we've tested the low of the current bracket with the next sort of support near term at this sort of $48 a barrel, and I mean, for the moment we are seeing new inventory in the market here, and again we could potentially run back up higher here, but I mean, just have to see what happens. I mean, from a weekly and monthly perspective, I mean, we're looking quite rotational. I mean, this is the weekly developing value. I mean, this week I had a very nice short run in from the late night spike on Monday, and I got my target filled literally from one side of value to the other. So I got short at 53.50 was my core, and I just got most of my targets filled at this 48.50 this morning, just as a sort of long, just as a sort of swing trade here that developed from what I was looking at from the macro to micro perspective. So I mean, the way I sort of did this was establish that core on Monday, and then I've been sort of day trading around my core position, going home with my my inventory from that core average up here, and then just sort of, like I said, playing around in the day time frame. And this morning, like I said, I got 95% of that out. I've just got a small, very small portion running just to see what we do here. I mean, we do look like we're seeing further potential rejection of last month's value, so we could see sort of reversions back to this sort of the mean point of control. But I mean, who knows? I mean, it does look like we could sort of fold over, and then we could see a destination trade down to this 55.50 area, which would be nice if we break this support at this $48 a barrel. So I mean, if we do look at the weekly, again, the same sort of perspective, and we sort of came in and we see these buyers try and cap off that previous value area and try to push price. But I mean, sellers were just absorbing everything, and then you can see these guys get liquidated here. So whoever was absorbing price, trying to be a buyer here, I mean, they just got liquidated, and that's where we see the short covering rally yesterday. I mean, I believe the crude inventory report came out today, and we came out, I think it's the highest crude stocks, highest inventory level since like for the last 10 years or something stupid. I can't remember off the top of my head, but we're seeing a huge oversupply at the moment still. So this again will lead to further prices. I mean, potentially here, I mean, who knows? I mean, $30 a barrel is a potential level we could see here, and we are still in a downtrend, and at the moment we are in a sort of macro balancing stage. So we just have to see where we go from here. But there's some very interesting and nice moves in crude oil at the minute. It's very volatile, and today there was trades on both sides of the market. I mean, we could have came in this morning and you could have been a seller off the open, and and then sort of held it into that crude inventories. And then if you wanted to wait for the crude inventories, I mean, we clearly see that huge spike down. I mean, there was some pretty big absorption here into that liquidity spike into support, where you could have been looking to buy at this stops below this $48 a barrel level. And again, it was clearly evident that the market was going to be potentially holding support here, because there was a huge amount of absorption in this area of resting buy limits, and then we came in and we broke that one time frame in, and we came in for that sort of destination trade from one side of value to the other on the day. And then you can see the previous day the gap got filled that was left open. There was just a small gap, and then you can see again just very, very strong passive absorption above that previous high of day, so into yesterday's range. And then we just see that excellent again, another destination trade into the close, or mean reversion, whatever you want to call that. But again, there was a huge amount of opportunity to be taken advantage of today, and there was some very nice trades to be taken, but very different from yesterday. I mean, people talking about us on the forum yesterday, and I'll quickly run through this. I mean, saying that they were getting their stops into value here, but I mean, you can see the difference between today and yesterday. I mean, yesterday we had that initial big breakout of when we opened up with just an open auction. The market just didn't really have any direction, and then finally we see that directional conviction come in, and we see the short liquidation starting to play out. And literally just one time frame, the whole day there was nice auctions. Since that spike down, there's nice auctions. Some small accumulation here, but again continuing to one time frame, and then finally them sort of spikes down into the close in crude. But again, we just one time frame the whole day, and when we see a sort of an imbalance like this, and we're seeing the higher time frame an imbalance like this, then you don't really want to be trading your stops so close to value. I mean, maybe put your stops above Vwap or something, or maybe even that 1.5 standard deviation on the RTH trade. But again, it's just very evident the market's one time frame, and there was no balance come back into the market. Where today we open up, we see again that breakdown, and then once the crude inventories come out, we see that huge spike down. We see all that absorption into support. So the support being this sort of double bottom area here into this $48 a barrel. And then we see two-way trade come back into the market, and it's just you can see the difference from yesterday, where the algorithm execution was to the sell side, where today, where we see that huge liquidation spike, we see absorption, and we come back into value, and then we break that one time frame for a destination trade. So again, it's just understanding that balance for imbalance scenario, and understanding the end of one auction and start of another. And this was just a huge spike down, and we see buy-in, absorption, and we finished the bar very, very bullish on that 30-minute auction here. I mean, if you look at it, we spiked all the way down, and we closed it all the way back up the high of the bar. So that's a very bullish sign. Then we came in on the next bar, and we literally just couldn't rotate through that, where the candlestick body closed and opened, and there's a huge absorption. There's someone here passively buying 660 contracts, and then obviously lifting the offer up. So again, just very, very bullish scenario that played out there regards to the end of one auction and start of another. I mean, that's pretty big excess. I mean, from 48.60 down to 48. I mean, that's 60 ticks excess there, and again, there was just a large amount of confidence to support this area. They had that 1.5 standard deviation on the month. We had all them lows that we were talking about. I mean, there was just a lot of confidence to lean off here and look to either get the targets filled or to take a destination trade to the other side of the day's developing value. So, but there's just been some awesome opportunities on crude. I mean, you can see since we broke out of this low here, I mean, we came back up and we've just been rejecting that low, and we couldn't push a new year high, and we've seen rejection. And again, so at the moment we've come back into balance. We are starting to try and hold the yearly developing Vwap, but I mean, it does look like we're going to see rotations potentially back down to this 42.20 and down to possibly $45 a barrel, and then possibly even a new year low. We'll just have to see how things play out here. I mean, we're at the moment, we're just in this new sort of balanced bracket area. So I mean, I'm not going to speculate, but whatever way we break out of this balance, it's going to be the most likely directional move. If we break down lower, then obviously we're going to head towards the lows. And if we break it higher, we're going to come back an inside year and potentially see some two-way trade. There's no point trying to predict this stuff. Just trade with the market generated information. It's a lot more easier than trying to predict it and fighting the market. So just let the market tell you what it wants to do, and trade with it with confidence. Regards to the S&P, kind of toned down a little bit with the volatility that we're seeing. We're seeing some pretty volatile trading days last month, and this month we've kind of calmed down a little bit, but we have started to break away from this previous balance. I mean, this was just a huge balance area. I mean, you can see if you look at the weekly, I mean, you can see that there's like a 5-week balance here, and we are potentially trying to break out here. I mean, we haven't actually broken out, so I mean, this could just be a fake out. We could come back in for two-way trade, but we are clearly seeing a potential change here. I mean, we came in on the quarterly developing value, and instead of coming back in where we see sellers response trying to sell it back into the developing value, there was buyers absorbing all of them sellers, and then them sellers got liquidated here. And so that was the kind of change here. I mean, we see that punch back out, and instead of seeing them reversions to the mean and two-way trade like we've been seeing, the market came down and kind of got capped at that VPUG, and we see responsive we see buyers in the market here. So I mean, I do believe we've potentially put in a new year high just a moment ago. Just going to confirm that. Yeah, I do believe we've just seen a new year high into the end of the Globex session today. So it'll be interesting to see if we drop back in for two-way trade, or we again start to see rejection of the 1.5 and potential confidence now at the developing value area high for this quarter, and then last quarter's developing value and this VPUC at this 2047. So just some things to keep an eye on here. Pushing forward on the S&P. I wasn't trading the S&P today. I had some trades on the S&P yesterday. Just a nice long trade. I mean, I was attacking this to the short side yesterday. We opened gap up and we see responsive sellers back in, and I was quickly bring the developing value over. So I got short off the open here, and I was just basically trying to target the other side, and got most of my scale outs and done at the mean. And then we see this we see a buyer come in, and we see two-way trade, and we sort of popped up to that outside day, and we see this we see basically buyers just buying the high of the developing value area high and trying to hold it an outside day. So when you see this happen, then we're most likely going to see again what happened here, with the market got too short, and then shorts got liquidated here, and we start to see imbalance. So once I took my short, and then I started to establish a long position with a nice sort of spike rally into the close. So again, just understanding competition, understanding what the market's doing, understanding when people are too long and short are going to get liquidated. I mean, that's where we can profit from the auction process as day traders. So again, interesting to see. Interesting to see where we go from here. I mean, we're not really seeing a real powerful breakout here on the S&P. So, and we're not seeing all-time highs yet. I mean, the all-time highs on the cash were 2093 or 2094, just call it a round number. I mean, today on the cash SPX we put in a 73.50, so still about 20 points on the cash away from the all-time highs. So there could easily be some sellers responsive here, and again further two-way trade in that trading range that we've seen for the last sort of 5 weeks. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. I hope you're all trading well, and I'll try to keep these updates a bit more consistent, and I'll catch you all soon. Take care and goodbye.